Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Good afternoon, Steelers Nation. Welcome to another episode of Steelers Realm. I will be your host today, the famous TA, as JT is in the Little League Championships. So, JT, good luck tonight. And without further ado, I want to bring on my sidekick, the one, the only, Freight Train. How are you, brother?
What's up, TA? Listen, I'm trying something new. I'm becoming one with nature. So
One with nature. Does this mean you got your Zen on?
I am the nature boy. I'm taking the Aaron Rodgers route to hopefully get better at this podcasting thing by becoming one with nature. So the birds are chirping. So maybe that'll give me a better voice for this podcast, do the birds' eye point of view. And TA, I finally got my new jersey, dude.
I'm telling you, look at you. You're sporting it pretty well, buddy. I mean, you know, I'm not quite sure that that 24 was meant for a freight train to wear, but you know, Joey Porter Jr. will be happy to see that you know, we're showing him a little love.
Well, yeah, the only thing is, I wish NFL Shop would like get their sizing correct, because I tell you what, I'm a pretty big guy. So like in today's standards, I would be what's considered plus sized. So
plus size. Is
I'm
that
a plus.
Politically correct word?
That's a politically correct way to put it. So I got a 2X, and I'm not kidding you. Me and Joey could probably both fit inside this jersey. So I can go out there. I can go out there with him, and basically, you could say somebody's double covered all the time.
Yeah, but see, you keep forgetting, buddy. Those jerseys are made for one key element that you're not wearing right now, which is what?
Shoulder pads.
Exactly.
I mean, I have boulder shoulders, but I don't have these hefty.
Just because you got boulder shoulders, don't you know? You're not filling them out. You might want to put some pads in there, like they did back in the '80s. The girls wore shoulder pads all the time. They look like little linebackers back in the day with great big bushy hair. But that's another subject for another time.
But I will say this, TA. I will say this, and I know we got a whole bunch to talk about on this show. But listen, I've only bought 3 jerseys in my entire life. Okay, yes, 3, because my Cordell Stewart jersey was bought for me for a birthday present from my parents. But as an adult, I've only bought 3 jerseys. Mm-hmm. Troy Polamalu, Ben Roethlisberger, and now Joey Porter Jr. Now, there's a reoccurring theme here with the first 2.
Are you saying that you are a bold predictor of Hall of Fame talent?
I think that's what I'm referring to. Yes, I am a good evaluator.
Joey, I hope he didn't just jinx you.
Yeah. He's got to sign first.
He does. And speaking of which, we're gonna break into that, and we're gonna talk a little bit of that. And speaking of signings, I'd like to say, you know, that it was just another average, ordinary week where, you know, it's just the old doldrums of Steelers Nation. But hey, Khan's at it again. Evidently, he's not happy with this roster, and we've brought on a few new additions, and you know, we've gotten rid of a few. And most importantly, we've wrapped up minicamp. So there's not much there. But I want to go ahead and I want to get the sadness out of the way first and foremost, you know, so we can kind of get into the flow of the show. I would like to send our deepest condolences out to the Haggins family. It was reported this week that Clark Haggins, number 53, middle linebacker for the Steelers, had passed away surprisingly. And what's even interesting now is that Larimer County in Colorado is now going to put his death under investigation. I'm not sure what that all means, but that's some intriguing news right there, Freight Train.
Right. That is, yeah, because, you know, as they've reported it, that no foul play was suspected, and now all of a sudden it's kind of they've almost changed their tune and now want to investigate what's actually happened. So does that mean foul play is maybe possibly expected? But this death kind of it hits me a little bit different because this is somebody I actually watched play. You know what I mean? Like, all those 70s guys, they pass away. It's sad. It really is. Or, the 80s even. But this one, I actually watched Clark Haggins play. So it means a little bit different. I remember him starting that Super Bowl game off with a sack. And it went from there. You know what I mean? And it's just, he never was a superstar, but he was that constant guy on the outside with Joey Porter. You know what I mean? I kind of view him kind of like how Alex Highsmith is with TJ Watt. He's not a superstar, but he plays his role incredibly well.
And you're absolutely right. And one thing I'll say about Clark, I mean, yeah, he only played 8 seasons with the Steelers, but I mean, he was a family member through and through. And he went on to have a formidable career after he left us for 4 more additional years, which is quite, we've talked about this. Once a player leaves us, they really don't have that stellar of a career. And not saying that he was Hall of Fame material by any stretch of the imagination, but the one thing he carried on with him was his drive, his motor. He never stopped. He was a guy that never took a play off. And I think that you're right. It was like a Batman to a Robin, and he played that Robin role very, very well. And, he was a great guy. I remember he was a great guy, and he was looking forward to retirement. He was very humble with the opportunities that he had in the NFL. And just to see him taking it 46, man, I mean, me being 52 right now, I mean, dude, I still feel like I got another 52 in the tank right now. I mean,
Right.
So I was taken at a very young age, man. So I really, it came as a little bit of a shock, I believe.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully the Haggins family can get a little bit of closure with this. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. You know what I mean? It's just sad situation, man. It really is.
And what was even something else too, speaking of the jersey that you're wearing right now, even Joey Porter Jr., if you haven't listened to it, man, he really posted a very nice tribute to a guy he considered an uncle because, Clark and his dad played for so many years together. So
Right.
it's not as if Clark didn't see Joey Jr. grow up as well too. So, I mean, it had a huge impact and effect on him. And, so it's hard to say how this is really affecting even Joey Porter Jr. as you alluded to earlier in the show. You're taking this one a little bit harder and personal because you actually grew up watching him play.
Right.
Imagine growing up and him being a tutor,
Right.
and watching him play.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And actually having a personal relationship with the individual. You know what I mean? That's got to be tough for Joey. And, not that he needed any more motivation going into the season. Maybe this is a little bit more motivation for him playing for Clark this season, but he's got to sign.
He does have to sign. And seeing that we're talking about signing right now, let's talk about that. Here we are. We're out of the OTAs. We're out of minicamp. The buzz and excitement is definitely in the air as we're, getting ready for training camp. But, is it surprising that with today's NFL and, of course, the CBA rules that were put into place, that we still have 3 guys who aren't signed yet, being Broderick Jones, Joey Porter Jr., and Kenny Benton. I mean, you figure that the whole reason we went through the collective bargaining agreement was to make this a little bit easier because we really already know what they're supposed to get paid.
Right.
Even if you look at Broderick Jones, he is basically either looking at a 4-year or a 5-year contract as a first one. And his money is definitely guaranteed. And we know it's going to come in somewhere around that $17 million mark, plus or minus a little bit. But I think it's how much of the guaranteed money. And I think what's happening here is that, this started in 2021 with, Trevor Lawrence and Trey Lance, they all got their signing bonuses paid up front. And that's not how this was designed, but their agents demanded it. So now I'm kind of wondering, is this all about guaranteed money?
Well, it's got to be. And the weird thing is, you usually see these contract disputes with the rookies with skill players. You know what I mean? Like quarterbacks or wide receivers, even. You don't really see this with offensive linemen, cornerback, and a defensive lineman. Like, why are they not signing yet? It's kind of unbelievable. And the thing is, yeah, we got great value with these picks, but are the agents using it as leverage in the contract negotiations of, well, because of certain teams' needs and this and that, my client slid down the draft, but he's actually worth this amount of money or guaranteed this amount of years.
And it could be. And I mean, let's face it, we've probably got the best money man in the league with Omar. And even though he's been very, very busy, I mean, he's a number crunching guy. And I'm imagining that there's only so much coin to pass around. Now, if you've got three guys all wanting upfront guaranteed money, somebody's not going to get paid.
Right.
Somebody's going to have to settle here.
Yeah.
And is this something too? Because we know the Steelers. I mean, we've seen it, we've lived it. They're not ones to step outside of that box. They want to make sure we're following the rules to the T when it comes to collective bargaining agreement, which is why we put the collective bargaining agreement in there, not for it to go ahead and be manipulated, find a loophole, twist it, kind of like our government or politics today. And that's not the topic of this here.
No, let's not delve into that.
But it seems like everybody wants to find another way around the system. And at what point do we just start having accountability for ourselves and follow the rules? I mean, and I get it. We're Americans. We're proud. We stretch the limit. But man, I don't know if this is going to have a happy ending, to be honest with you, because somebody's not getting paid.
Yeah. And I feel like it has something to do with the sliding because, Broderick Jones was projected to be what? Top 10, maybe top 15 pick. Joey Porter projected to be a first round pick, slides to that first pick in the second round. I don't know if that has any weight into this discussion with the agent and Omar, and the thing is, these guys, they need to understand, okay, this is what the collective bargaining agreement says. Okay, if I ball out, you know how many times it's happened within that second or third year, they get a restructured contract anyways?
Oh, exactly. And, but you bring up a good point. For Joey Porter Jr. especially, is his agent coming to the table and saying, look, he's a 32 pick. And in all reality, he's a first round pick.
Right, exactly.
We want first round money for him. Just because the NFL went ahead and took away that 32 pick doesn't mean he's not a first round pick.
Right. That's exactly what it has to be. You know what I mean?
And even then, we're still, again, trying to twist and manipulate the rules. And I get it because even I was excited. And I even said, look, we've got 3 first round picks basically. The top 3 picks. I mean, I was excited. I was guilty of it myself. So I don't know. So I guess my question is to you: if somebody doesn't get paid, I'm kind of thinking the guy who doesn't get paid is Kenal Benton.
Because surely you're paying your offensive lineman, your first pick, Joey Porter. Obviously, you have to pay him. That's the biggest need on this football team. And that's the first, your essentially your first, second, whatever pick. I had a brain fart. Sorry, the birds are messing with me. But
get back to your Zen, man.
But yeah, Kenal Benton has to be that lowest man on the totem pole because the 2 other ones fill the biggest holes on the football team.
But now, just knowing the Steelers the way we do, is this also saying, hey, now there's reports coming out that Broderick Jones, who we pretty much had penciled in as a, day one starter, didn't look too good in mini camps and OTAs. Now the question is does he sit behind, you know, the man, the myth, the legend for a few games before he comes in? Joey Porter Jr. is looking like he's already going to be fighting for a first round or a first grade spot, and Levi may be the cat who's out in that. But then again, we don't know where exactly Peterson falls into this, because Peterson's like that magical, mystical. He's going to play everything. He's going to be the ghost of the defense. Christmas past, future, and present. Don't look around the corner because the boogeyman's going to be there to get you.
Yeah.
and then you had Canal Benton who did impress, but I mean, let's face it, man. We've already got a pretty stout defensive line,
Right.
so he's only a rotational piece. So when you look at that, are the Steelers using that against them as well? And we're the agents are banking on future potential and not straight out of the gate potential.
Well, I'm going to back Broderick Jones up with this. He didn't look the greatest in minicamp, blah, 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 blah. Tia, you work for free? Would you work for free?
I work for free every single day, but
that's not the answer I'm looking for.
I know it's not.
The guy doesn't have a contract right now. He's not binded into anything. So what happens if he goes full force, tears an ACL, and doesn't have a contract? Who's covering that?
Well, he's definitely backed by the CBA. He's definitely backed by the CBA. So they'll have to, his money is kind of guaranteed. It's how it gets divvied out is what is the unknown at this time. So he's already there, and trust me, he's collecting a paycheck one way or the other. He didn't just show out for the goodness of his heart to say,
you never know, guys. You never know.
No, the NFL, trust me, with the way lawyers are today, just exactly what we were talking about in accountability. Right. They have to make sure everybody is, they've got all their ducats signed to ensure if something did happen in OTAs, they're covered.
Yeah. I just wanted to see if you actually would work for free, because I got some stuff that I need done around the house. So when you get back from vacation, I need you to take care of some stuff. And no, I'm not paying you.
Hey, buddy, I'm always working for free, man. That's all I do. I'm 24/7. You're talking to a workaholic here, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, granted though, I am down here in the bayou though, just in case Steelers Nation's wondering where I'm at this week. I'm down here with the Who Dat boys, man. I'm getting ready to hit Bourbon Street here before long. So
you gonna get you a crawfish boil?
Oh no, I'm going for some F2 brother. That's what I'm dying for. It's a little F2 little Cajun spicing going on, man. I'm excited to hit the streets. Little jazz music even, man.
Oh, we might catch video of you hitting up a saxophone.
Well, let's put it this way. I got a handful of beats ready.
All right. Nobody take any video while he's down there, please. You never know what might happen. TA's got the beads.
Yeah, we got to be careful. Well, all right. So let's keep the show moving on. Now, just when we thought we had the 90-man roster filled out, we get reports earlier this week that Anthony Miller goes ahead and he puts out, "Hey, thank you, Pittsburgh." And I'm thinking to myself, thank you, Pittsburgh. All right, everybody jumps on that freight train. They're like, oh, I think the Steelers are going to release him, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But that's not what I looked at. I'm thinking to myself, thank you. You ain't done nothing but catch one pass in 2 years. Are you thanking me for, as you would say, the free payday, the free paycheck that we gave this cat for 2 years? I mean, come on now. I mean, what are you telling us? We're suckers because we paid you for 2 years to sit around and do nothing?
Hey, wait a minute, dude. Last year in training camp, he caught 6 footballs at once on the punt return practice.
Hey, look,
6.
Look, I didn't see that on the field. I mean,
well, yeah.
Okay, those 6 footballs he caught equated to like 6 yards total. That's what it's going to say on a little footnote in Steelers folklore, in the history book.
Right.
6 yards. I mean, look, I kind of had high hopes for him a little bit this year. I figured, with his veteran presence being a second round pick, he did have some good years in Chicago. But, as we already talked with these 20 wide receivers, and granted, I know it's only 13, but by God, it sure does seem like 20 if you start breaking out special teams and running backs and this, that, and the other. It's a pretty big wide receiver room.
But you know who this helps out, though? Hakeem Butler.
Oh, it definitely helps out Hakeem. It definitely helps out.
That opens the door for him to make this football team. Because you got to think both of them had essentially the same body type. Just one happens to probably be able to stay on the field, and the other one likes to catch 6 punt footballs and be out the rest of the year and collect a paycheck.
So one likes to show off in training camp and just collect a free paycheck. And the other one's actually been working for the last couple of years just to try to make it and say, hey, I belong in the NFL.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It has to be. That's the story of Anthony Miller's career thus far. Everywhere he's been.
It is. It just struck me as odd, and I get it, man. I mean, it's a tough wide receiver room, which is also surprising because Pro Football Focus has us ranked like mid-tier with our wide receivers core and even our top number 3, as far as quarterback, running back, and top wide receiver. We're mired in the middle of the pack as being average. And I'm looking at this wide receiver room thinking, if this offensive line can really gel and protect Kenny, and there's even reports, that they're really working on his feel in the pocket, when to slide up, when to slide back, when to put the ball down and run. If he can get that Dan Marino feel, dude, the sky's the limit with this receiving core.
Well, yeah,
there's solid.
Yeah, like I've said in previous shows, not one wide receiver on this team is like the other. Each one of them has a different skill set that can be utilized to our advantage. We got big guys, we got small guys, we got fast guys, we got guys with good hands. I'm trying to think of the wide receiver position. I don't think there's another adjective I could bring up to describe the position, but we have it.
We don't have any snow hands. No stone hands.
Right. Yeah, we have no Lima Swedes on this football team that I know of. And then in the same breath, you look at the running back position we have, they can also catch the football on top of running people over. So there is weapons all over this offense. I am hard-pressed to believe that is a middle-tier offense. They had to have only got docked because of who's calling the plays. That's the only way.
And I tell you what, we've said it before, and we'll probably even break it down when we go into camp. But the pressure really is on. First of all, it's on Canada.
Absolutely.
Second of all, it's on Kenny.
Right.
Second and foremost. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to watch how this develops. And the other thing that we haven't even talked about was even Calvin Austin Jr. Najee comes out and says, oh, he's going to be a huge part of this offense. So now I got to think about this. Last year, we seen little Hayward starting to become a big part of this offense because that kid caught everything you threw at him.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
And was like a little bowling ball once he got that and was chunking up yards. You can't forget about him either. And so where do you slide in Austin into this lineup? I mean, can you imagine this? I mean, I know they want to get out on first down and get big chunk yards. I just hope Canada has a way of freeing these guys open for Kenny's number 1 and number 2 read to hit it there. And even that check down read needs to be maybe not behind the line of scrimmage, but maybe 5 yards out and let him see what he can do. Find a soft spot.
Right. And it boils down to Canada can't be vanilla with his play sets, right? We need to see more like bunch sets, diversions. You know what I mean? Like confuse the defense on where these guys are lining up. Last year, it seemed like they had the same setup all year. I don't even recall a time we saw a bunch set. I really don't. And it might have only been on like an end around play, like a sweep.
You're right. There was a handful of times, and let's face it, this is what we were all sold on this advertising of Canada is he's the master of disguise. Yeah. Well, he better start disguising his master because he's got too many weapons.
Yeah.
And speaking of weapons, looks like we finally got that inside linebacker. I guess we've been
Yep.
talking about with the release of Miller. We picked up 2 more. We picked up. All right, here you go. This is the time of the show where TA just loves to butcher.
Oh, I love it. I feel like we should have like a little song that plays in the background anytime you have to enunciate anybody's name, just like a Foley sound.
Yeah, because here it goes. Because I'm also thinking that Steelers do this to me on purpose because there are some. I'm just telling you, we have some oddball names. So let's introduce you.
Oh, here we go.
Are you ready? Oh, we got the little music. All right, let's introduce you to Nick Kawatikoski. He is going to Sawatikoski his way into the inside linebacker group. But, I'm not quite sure I'm really on board with this due to the fact, man, not with us, but he's been in the league for 8 years. I mean, with Chicago, with the Raiders, with the Falcons. I mean, the Raiders signed him to a huge deal only to disappoint. And, he went to Falcons for a year, and now here he's showing up in Pittsburgh. And I'm like, I'm just not quite sure I'm down with this pick, except that he's another body.
That's exactly what it is. He's the same thing we already have. We can't just get somebody different for this room. We need somebody they need veteran leadership there. They don't have it right now. Those are all guys that have always came off injuries and kind of younger guys. And we have probably the best middle linebacker we have is going into his second year. He's still a young, fresh middle linebacker in Mark Robinson. I wanted them to go out and get a proven veteran to slide in there, like we had with Miles Jack in there, who I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. I wish they would have just brought him back. But somebody like that, or like Devin White, it would have cost you a package, but he's been there, done that. You know what I mean? Somebody that has proven something in their careers.
So let me ask you this. Are we putting too much emphasis on this right now? And the reason I'm asking that is because, the NFL has become so diverse, and maybe our way of thinking, and we've kind of talked about this before, but I keep wanting to go back to it, that traditional inside linebacker in a 3-4. You had the run stuffer, and then you had the guy who can cover. In all reality, I think, if we just put that run stuffer in there and do like a 3-3 with, the DBs picking up the other 5 positions, and you have an extra, let's even say Kazi, who's coming in there to cover the slot, or Peterson coming in the slot, or Trey Norwood to come in and cover the slot, or even the tight end to match up and not worry about what that inside linebacker is. Is that really where I think the NFL is going? And I think that's where Tomlin's really trying to experiment at. He tried it with your outhouse buddy for years.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out. And I'm just wondering if ultimately that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for that Carnell Lake who played middle linebacker in college, who we transformed into a safety, but to be able to have him as a safety and come up and play that inside linebacker in a 3-4.
Yeah, but we already had that guy on our football team, and we let him walk to the Eagles on a 1-year deal. That was Terrell Edmonds last year, who I thought played it. I think Terrell Edmonds had the best year of his career last year.
It definitely all started to click with him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I think in the organization's eyes, it just took him too long to develop.
All right, that's silly because he was still young. But anyways, these linebackers still have to be able to cover, and not a single one of them have the ability to do that. Excuse me, as a parade of cars go past. I'm sorry about that. But
remember that you're zen. Tell them to slow down. You're concentrating on the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. And if you stay out there long enough, you'll get to check out the moon up above.
Right.
And if the wife comes up, just tell her the thing about love.
Right. Yeah, she's waiting on me to jump off here for some Chipotle.
I'm kind of thinking that would have made a good song, don't you?
I liked where it was going when you went from the birds of the breeze to the blowing of the trees, and then I don't know where it went from there. But back to this linebacker situation, we should be putting more emphasis on this because last year, hold on a minute.
Sorry for the technical breakup. That was Freight Train cutting his mic off, so we didn't hear the great big 18-wheeler going down the highway as he continues to get his end on.
Anyways,
back.
It was like a Hell's Angel Harley Davidson. But anyways, we had games where J.K. Dobbins ran for like 200 yards against us. The linebacking, the run stopping from the linebackers was like non-existent. Now all of a sudden they've taken that and filled in a bunch of linebackers that's all they can do is be a run stuffer and forget about covering a tight end because neither one of them have the ability to do so. So now you've become kind of predictable on, well, just throw out a tight end over there. That's going to clog up one of the safeties playing out there, and somebody's going to be single covered in the secondary.
Well, either way, it's going to be interesting to see how Austin can play with all his pieces on defense because just as we talked about the offense having weapons, the defense is just as loaded with young and old talent. Right. And the one thing coming out of camps that you're really excited to see and you hear is the brotherhood, the family, the specialness. There was even talks about they know what their identity is. Can you believe that? We ain't even got the training camp in there. They're already talking about they know their identity. Last year, I don't even think we knew what their identity was until week 14.
Yeah, when we were in must-win mode to finish the year out,
Right. So, I mean, there are a lot of good things and excitement to happen. And one thing that's kind of the other signing that we got brought up here comes the next one. Are we ready? I think I got this one nailed.
Hold on. Let me get your music ready here. Here we go.
Former WVU player, long snapper, Rex Sanahara.
Sanahara. I think you actually did get that one right, so I applaud you, my friend.
There you go. Sanahara. Right. Sanahara coming in to go ahead and give Christian Kuntz a little bit of competition. When was the last time we really had somebody come in and compete for a long snapper?
I didn't even know they had competitions for long. I thought it was if you found one, he had like a freaking 20-year career.
Right. I mean, you got to give him credit, man. I mean, we're definitely pushing the envelope here. And,
right. Tomlin said it. He's all about competition this training camp. You better come in ready. You better be better. So that goes all the way down to the long snapper.
And the thing that always got me the most about the long snapper, whenever you look at the long snapper, he's not the biggest guy on your team, But, I mean, what is it that they judge? Is Bazooka Joe over there saying, oh, my God, that was a pretty tight spiral. Right. Wait a second. Let me put the clock on that. Stop. Oh, my God, that was like 0.3 of a second. Ooh, man, that's the fastest snap I've ever seen. Or, did you see the gloves on Percy Harvin smoking when he caught that ball? Ooh, doggies. I mean, or is it, oh my God, he's got such a wide stand. Can't nobody trip over him with some big clogged meat on the left and to the right of him. He's just stopping up that middle. I mean, I know I'm making fun of it, and the long snapper is very, very important. But I mean,
and that's what I was going to say. When's the last time we saw a botched field goal snap? You know what I mean? Like, or even a punt. I haven't seen Kuntz screw up hardly at all. You don't hear his name, so he must be doing good.
Well, and here's my other question that I've always wondered about the NFL. You trust a guy on your front five as a center, and you're telling me that he can only deliver the ball to a quarterback's hands and he can't put it back to the damn place kicker or the punter? I mean, is he really truly a center at that point in time?
They must
Or
be different sizes or something. I don't know. Check it
and
out.
and I mean, when was the last time you heard? I'm sorry, long snapper for the Las Vegas Raiders will be out for the year because of a bum knee. I mean, it's it's not like you hear these guys going on injured reserves.
No.
I mean, they've almost got an easy job just like the place kicker does. I mean, it's free money. Hey, look, I'm going to be out there at least maybe 3-4 times a game. I
Yeah.
just, 5 snaps. That's all I'm asking for, man. I'm going to give you $1 million.
He's got 2 jobs. Snap the football and block the dude in front of you.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, snap it, stand up. That's all you got to do.
So I guess now the question is do you think we're done? Are we still looking to add more pieces?
You should never be done. You should always be looking to add to be better. And I think Khan has the same mentality. You should never be settled for what you have. You should always be striving for what you don't have and to be better, I guess.
Well, Omar, just to keep us in business and talking about something, I can't wait to see what you pull off next week, brother.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I thought I'd throw this out here as one last thing that I thought was interesting real quick.
Okay.
Did you see that we are the 5th most expensive ticket price in the country when you compare them to the average salary in the area?
Really?
Really, that is what's been reported, man. We're the fifth most expensive ticket price in the country. Now, with that being said, the average cost of the cheapest ticket available for the Steelers is $209, according to the Pennsylvania Bureau of Labor and Statistics. The average weekly wage in the state is $1,325.
Wow. Well, and you got to think, we're second? We have the second largest waiting list for season tickets other than the Green Bay Packers. I think that's what I saw.
Yeah, and right now the Green Bay Packers have the most expensive ticket, followed by the Cowboys, Eagles, and the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, and that's only because the Chiefs have had recent success. You look at that 5-6 years ago, they were probably down towards the bottom. We've always just consistently been expensive.
Right. You get a Patrick Mahomes, and by God, we can charge a little extra in the seats.
Yep, the rich get richer.
And speaking of charging a little extra to get fans in the seats, I just want to say that I hope AB is enjoying his retirement right now, because his little ploy to say I'm coming back to play and got the fans in the seats, made a little extra coin before he got evicted from the National Arena Football League. AB, you never cease to amaze me, brother.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's next. I mean, how could this possibly get any better? What's he going to screw up next? That's the thing. There's got to be something. Yeah. Probably a record label place he's going to make bankrupt or something. But also, before I forget, I want to send a shout out. The Pittsburgh Maulers are in the USFL playoffs.
Yes, they are. As a matter of fact, I'm even thinking about going to the championship game, seeing that it's going to be there at Mr. Benson Stadium there in Canton, Ohio. And what gets me the most is, you want to talk about expensive seats to the championship game? I'm not quite sure I can afford $19.
Yeah, boy, really breaking the bank on that one. Yeah, goodness. Yeah, but it's a classic case of going worst to first for them. They were terrible last year. Come to Canton, Ohio, and make the playoffs. So
yeah, it's quite interesting. But again, I'm pretty excited about the spring leagues and just bringing that extra talent to the NFL and giving these kids a place to showcase their talent. So
right, yeah, and I'm telling you, they got a great facility to play in. That Hall of Fame facility is top notch. That's like it's like a lower income NFL stadium there. It really is.
Like I'm telling you, if you've never been there, it's a must see. They are turning this into the Disney World. Be honest with you, I want to go up there and I want to get on the Ferris wheel just to kind of check it all out.
I know. I pass it every day. Yeah. Could you imagine the view up top of that, everything that they've done there? And ladies and gentlemen, you go to their website, you'll see it. They're putting like a, how would you put it? Like a water park, like a football themed water park in there, shopping center. They're always increasing the size of the actual museum because they're getting more stuff. They keep adding wings to it. It's an incredible site, and I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's completed.
And for all of you who think it's just, I'm going to stop in and I'm going to spend 2 hours just to check it out, if you're not packing your lunch and spending 8 hours, you're still not seeing everything.
Well, yeah, they say the museum tour takes 4.5 hours by itself because there's so much stuff. And that's just kind of taking a glance at stuff. If you actually go in and look and read everything and kind of examine some stuff, I guarantee you that you could add another hour and a half to that because there's so many artifacts that's there. And the cool thing is, like, the tour guides that work there. Like, when I took my nephew, I had my Troy Polamalu jersey on. We're up there looking around. He comes, taps me on the shoulder, says, "You're a Steelers fan, huh?" I said, "What was your first guess?" I mean, of course I am. You think I just wear this for just the fun of it? Yeah. He's like, "I got something for you." Goes and brought me a game-used Troy Polamalu jersey and said, "Here you go." Threw it to me like the Mean Joe commercial. "Here you go, kid." And I caught the jersey. And I'm telling you, man, it's cool. Like, if you're a real down-to-earth football fan, that stuff's cool to like witness and to like see firsthand.
Oh, it absolutely is. And it's a must see for any diehard football fan.
It really is.
About it.
Yeah. I mean, $30, I think it's well worth it. I really do. It might sound expensive, but once you get there and you experience everything, you're like, yeah, I got my money's worth.
Exactly. Well, Freight Train, buddy, that's all I got today. You got anything else?
Nope, that's it. I think there's a storm rolling in, so I'm going to continue my inner self with my nature out here.
Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you throw out a plug for all of those who see the storm? Because last week we had hail. Yes. I mean, who do we need to call?
Builder Bros. Don't even call them. All right. You need to go to their website, builderbros.org. And for those of you that are new to the show, Builder Bros is a company with a division to bring your house back to life after Mother Nature creates havoc to it. I'm talking wind damage, hail damage, leaks inside your house. They're both interior and exterior. And it comes with roofing, siding, all that. Go to their website. If that is on your home, go to their website, builderbros.org. There's just a little questionnaire. They need your information. They will reach out to you. They have insurance claims specialists that will personally come to your house, inspect your damage, and they will work with you and your insurance provider to get everything covered under a storm damage claim without raising your rates, because an act of nature clause in your insurance policy, they can't raise your rates because it's an act of God. You weren't like TA getting on your roof, hanging Christmas lights, happened to slip because you had one too many brewskis and rip your gutter off, falling off the roof. Okay, that's not covered under an act of God claim. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want your house back to its original but better condition, go to builderbros.org.
All right. And with that, Steelers Nation, thanks for tuning in. We look forward to bringing to you this each and every week. Again, reach out to us. Hit us up on 724. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on LinkedIn. Hit us up wherever you want to hit us up at.
Yeah,
but hit us up. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Give us something to rag on. Other than that, brother, I'm out until next week. I'm going to go do Who Dat.
Who dat? Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me with my nature and my cars whizzing by. I promise you I will have the technical difficulties taken care of for the next show. I will be back inside. But have a good rest of your week. Fathers, I hope you guys had a splendid Father's Day this past weekend. Same to you, TA. And I can't wait to talk to you next time.
Still having technical difficulties.
Check back next week into the Steelers realm.